You see basically on the left there, you see the old garden village I was just talking about from 1918. And just across the bay you see this new kind of city development. So you see a lot of intense use of the land. You could say every square meter was used. For our energy flows, there's a sensor grid that's been built into our boats just to monitor all of the use of energy, and it was really used as an experimental project. And it's actually a branch off from Metabolic with Spectral. They're just across the bay here now. Basically, the full capacity here is about a year. Basically, the composting is, of course, also needs to be started up with the right mix of bacteria, and then it starts falling apart. After the year, we drop it into a lower level. So this is already more than a year old. So then the gardening committee is actually using it inside the park for spots where plants might use a bit more nutrients.
So Metabolic, you're probably not too familiar with it, but it's a systems thinking organization. So we're made of 5 different entities that are quite independent, all on their own, but we also work as a whole together. So we have a consultancy, like traditional consultancy. We work with larger partners and larger private companies, or also public, like I work with cities. And we also have the Institute, which is a research entity that worked with mostly European projects. As Metabolic, I think our main, how we approach things is not to just, okay, we're gonna do this here. Like we really try to have a data-focused background and really understand what's happening first. So we want to have a good current state analysis. And how we do it most of the time is we map resources. So we see it a bit as, let's say a city, we see it as a metabolism. So we see what comes in, what comes out, kind of like a human. So we want to really understand how it functions, and then also by getting some data and getting what's happening in that human or city or business or hotel, anything, then we can try to see after, okay, what is not working well, what is not going at the right place, who should we get involved along, because in any product or hotel there's a lot of stakeholders involved, and by understanding really where the problem is, then we can really say, okay, we need to talk with that person or that person. So that's really how we approach things.
If you don't think of waste anymore, but only of resources, what if every hotel in the city thinks only about resources? What can that mean? What kind of movement can that mean for the city if you take your position? Because most of the time you think about circular economy, the companies that make things, they produce things. But those companies need also, of course, their clients to buy them. And so hotels are of course then part of the chain, and they must become aware of their responsibility, of their role they can play. Discovered that it's very difficult to find what is a good sustainable solution. Still, there are so many options, and technically some things are possible, some are not so possible.
Welcome in Hotel Jakarta. I am the general manager of this beautiful property, and I'm going to show you around. The first thing we did, we looked at the history of this island. We are on the Java Island, and the Java Island was built at the end of the 19th Java Island was built at the end of the 19th century to protect that shore for waves. The Java Island is a residential area. A lot of people live there, and they all overlook the water. And from the inside they overlook gardens. So we wanted to continue that line also in our hotel. The garden also is like a thermal buffer. When you walk in the woods in the winter, it's warmer. When you walk in the woods in the summer, it's cooler. Our garden does the same here. So it regulates the temperature in a very nice, convenient and sustainable way. %90 of our building is wood. We have a concrete table construction until the first floor, and on top of that we have 200 rooms. On top of that 170 rooms are built modular, and they have cross-laminated wooden walls. We also use a lot of bamboo. Bamboo is a fast-growing grass, takes a lot of CO2, and when you take it from the land and you make hard surfaces like floors or walls, and you plant it, it grows back very fast. The glass is full with solar panels. It's integrated in the glass, especially made for us. And everywhere the sun touches our building, we have solar panels. There's the south fence, the high-rise east, the low-rise east, and all rooftops. 14 to 15% of our electricity comes from our solar panels.
CenTour project, financed by the COSME Programme, implements a capacity building support scheme for SMEs of the tourism sector in 5 countries: Italy, Spain, Greece, Moldova and North Macedonia. And it will lead them to reach different levels of innovation in the circular economy.
So capacity building is quite important. I think when we try to develop circular economy projects, we need to develop the same level of knowledge and skills. We need to have the same understanding of the concept of circular economy, the principles, and we need to develop a similar mindset in terms of how to innovate towards circular economy. So up till now, the project developed a set of resources that can be found on the website circulartourism.eu. We developed a set of online modules that can be used for any SMEs interested in learning more about circular economy and the different strategies that can be implemented in hotels, for instance. We developed a set of handbooks and guidelines, best practice database that can serve as inspiration and a set of resources that can support companies on their transition to circular economy. So we thought developing a study visit in Amsterdam would be quite useful for the companies to get out of their box and try to think a bit innovatively, look at best practices, what companies here and organizations are doing interestingly about circular economy, so developing innovations that are outside of the box. And so this approach is really supporting companies to try to get inspired by good examples, but also try to see, what could they implement later on when going back home. So in terms of main takeaways, I think companies really learned that it's important to collaborate with different stakeholders when setting up complex circular economy projects. So that's really something they can bring back home. After the big next step will be trying to implement what they've learned, what they've experienced here in Amsterdam, and trying to implement it in their own countries with the reality and the context of their region.
Hemos tenido la oportunidad de estar en Ámsterdam con una visita a un estudio con el proyecto CenTour y hemos podido visitar ayer un proyecto muy interesante llamado Ecolabel, que busca recuperar espacios industriales de la ciudad a través de la economía circular y volverlos, digamos, a la ciudadanía. De él hemos podido aprender que hay muchas pequeñas formas de impactar a las organizaciones porque tienen muchos pequeños proyectos a la vez, desde compostaje, pequeños invernadero, desde luego la energía y también la gestión del agua. Creo que cuando vuelva a Cantabria cogeré esas ideas y veremos con los hoteles que forman parte del proyecto cómo pueden ser implantadas incluso a pequeña escala en cada uno de estos hoteles y de organizaciones. Y hoy hemos tenido también la oportunidad de estar con la municipalidad, proyectos del Ayuntamiento de Ámsterdam, siempre en torno a la economía circular en el sector hotelero, y hemos aprendido cómo han formado un grupo de hoteles de 15 al principio y ahora unos cuantos más, que siempre teniendo en cuenta todas las gestiones que se pueden hacer en torno a la economía circular, buscan cambiar la forma y hacer sus negocios más sostenibles, buscan cambiar la forma de trabajar. Creo que es un proyecto muy interesante y que puede ser replicado tanto en Santander, que es donde estamos localizados la Cámara de Comercio, como en otros pequeños destinos, y no solo en España, sino en el resto de países que forman parte de este proyecto, y creo que la verdad nos queda mucho por trabajar cuando volvamos a casa.
Η εμπειρία που είχαμε σήμερα είναι πραγματικά πρωτόγνωρη για τα δικά μας δεδομένα και ειδικά για μια επαρχιακή πόλη από την οποία έρχομαι. Αυτό που μου άρεσε περισσότερο είναι ότι είδα στην πραγματικότητα πώς μπορεί πραγματικά να δουλέψει η ιδέα της κυκλικής οικονομίας και πώς μπορεί να αποφέρει τελικά έσοδα σε μια επιχείρηση. Και αυτό θα προσπαθήσω να μεταφέρω πίσω. Ειδικά ο τομέας που με ενδιαφέρει, η αξιοποίηση του βρόχινου νερού, είδα ότι όντως λειτουργεί εδώ πέρα και γυρνώντας πίσω πραγματικά θα εφαρμόσω αυτά που είδα. Κατά τα άλλα, το περιβάλλον είναι τελείως διαφορετικό, μιλάμε για ένα βιομηχανικό χώρο, δεν υπάρχουν τέτοια πράγματα στην περιοχή μας. Παρ' όλα αυτά όμως, είμαστε σε πολύ καλύτερη κατάσταση σε σχέση με την ποιότητα ζωής, με το επίπεδο του φυσικού περιβάλλοντος, το οποίο δεν το έχουμε καταστρέψει ακόμη εμείς όσο αυτοί εδώ πέρα. Θα μπορέσουμε, πιστεύω, να έχουμε πολύ καλά αποτελέσματα μέσα από τις εμπειρίες μας εδώ.
Penso che sia stato molto interessante questi 2 giorni qui ad Amsterdam, li ho trovati veramente interessanti e credo che per le aziende sia molto utile vedere le esperienze di qualcun altro che ha già fatto il loro percorso e trovare punti in comune, ma anche attività da replicare. Sono veramente curiosa di vedere cosa ci racconteranno i gestori del Circle Restaurant e dell'Hotel Jakarta, e spero che per le aziende che hanno partecipato sia veramente di ispirazione, anche se ovviamente ci troviamo in un contesto diverso perché è un contesto urbano, mentre molte delle nostre aziende sono in un contesto rurale, ma alla fine i temi che contano sono gli stessi, quindi si tratterà semplicemente di fare poi un lavoro noi per cercare di capire come replicare quelle che riteniamo essere delle esperienze di successo e magari anche trarre qualche insegnamento dalle difficoltà che hanno incontrato quelli che hanno fatto questo percorso prima di noi e cercare di capire per tempo come affrontarle.
Είμαστε ένας από τους εταίρους στο έργο. Ήταν μια πολύ καλή ευκαιρία για την περιοχή μας όσον αφορά την ενίσχυση της μικρομεσαίας επιχειρηματικότητας με την εξειδίκευση στο κομμάτι της κυκλικής οικονομίας, καθιερώνοντας μια δυναμική πορεία των επιχειρήσεων και ειδικά μετά από την κρίση. Επίσης, μέσα από την εμπειρία αυτή κατάφεραν οι επιχειρήσεις που παρευρίσκονται εδώ να διδαχθούν κάποιες καλές πρακτικές, παραδείγματα στην ουσία καλών πρακτικών, για να μπορέσουν να τα υιοθετήσουν και να ενισχύσουν ακόμα περισσότερο την εξωστρέφεια και τη δυναμική τους.
Especially this study trip and visiting this place is very interesting for our company because we learn how to promote these kind of unique places and a different thinking. And this trip inspired us to put more effort in promoting this kind of activities and this kind of concepts, and also inspired us to think how can we attract people from different sectors to come with innovative ideas, with creative ideas, also to bring them to our places and maybe to develop the region in a more sustainable way.
Η ευκαιρία που είχαμε μέσω του έργου CenTour να επισκεφθούμε το Άμστερνταμ, μια πόλη η οποία παρουσιάζει πάρα πολλές καινοτομίες και είναι πρωτοπόρος σε πολλούς τομείς, ήταν πάρα πολύ σημαντική για εμάς και φυσικά όλα αυτά τα οποία έχουμε αντλήσει αυτές τις 2 μέρες από τις επισκέψεις που κάναμε θα τα μεταδώσουμε και θα τα μεταφέρουμε στις επιχειρήσεις στην περιοχή μας, στην περιοχή της Ξάνθης και γενικότερα στην Ελλάδα. Χθες η μέρα είχε πολύ ενδιαφέρουσες επισκέψεις και μία από αυτές τις πρακτικές, δηλαδή η συλλογή του βρόχινου νερού, παρουσιάζει πάρα πολύ σημαντικό ενδιαφέρον για τις δικές μας επιχειρήσεις. Καθότι πολλά από αυτά τα οποία προστάζει η κυκλική οικονομία, εμείς ήδη τα εφαρμόζουμε στην περιοχή μας. Από εκεί και πέρα, αυτό το οποίο σίγουρα μας εντυπωσίασε ήταν η σημερινή επίσκεψη στο συγκεκριμένο ξενοδοχείο.
Ecco, siamo qui in questo villaggio perfetto in cui c'è il recupero delle acque, le piante degli elefanti, ma anche l'utilizzo dell'acqua piovana e dell'energia solare. Tutte queste matrici naturali possono essere riutilizzate anche in Italia e anche nelle nostre aziende green, come la mia Arcera o le castellare della mia amica Nadia, e quindi sono momenti di grande importanza e di ispirazione futura. Grazie a CenTour all'esperimento che stiamo facendo per il turismo con l'utilizzo minimo delle risorse naturali.
The study visit in Amsterdam, it was really great opportunity for us as being part of this CenTour project and the SMEs that participated to the discussions, and we discovered in the first day how it's very interesting to manage the waste and reuse it and to make like a circular economy, and at the same time to create this opportunity and services for accommodation for people coming there. And the second day we discovered a very sustainable hotel which is many good ideas and also the circular solutions that can be implemented in our country, in Moldova. And of course, it's very important to take these solutions at the beginning of a company, of a business project. And what was impressive, it is about these plants that they combined with glass, with the wooden walls, and it creates this internal climate, and also the automatic windows on the seal, which makes it to go to sustain and to maintain the same temperature in the whole building. It is really great investments in this, and also how they invested in the heating system, which creates a lot of costs lower, and also the view, it's really nice, and also how they use how they collect the rainwater and to use it for the plants. And of course, this is really very useful and very easy to implement solutions even in our country. And yeah, this is let's say the vision in the future, and to encourage all of us of being as customers and also as business owners to increase our profit through contribution and to reduce the impact on the environment, negative one. But now we want to develop more sustainable businesses. So thank you so much for all the participants in this study visit. Thank you.